Hey guys, okay, so today we're going to work on horizontal parabolas. That being said, that's parabolas going left and right. So instead of going up and down, we're talking left and right. Luckily, most things are the same in terms of the directrix, the focus, 1A, 3A, 5A, so that's awesome. We just have this one page of notes, except we have this little first page that we never completed, so skip on back here with me. Just want to fill out this right-hand column so that you guys can have this as your resource. So take a look. We're talking about horizontal, the vertex. What I want you guys to notice first of all is that it's equal to x. That's definitely important. And it's y minus something squared. Also notice a is still 1 over 4p. And what I want you to know is that the vertex is still hk. The confusing part for some people is that h is now out here and k is the inside value. So just be careful there, okay? And then now that we have a left and right opening parabola, the axis of symmetry is going to be a horizontal line. So it's going to be y equals k. If a is positive, it's going to open to the right. If a is negative, it's going to open to the left. And then, of course, we've got focus and directrix. So when you're talking about a focus and directrix, we're still talking about focuses that point inside P away from the vertex. So we're going to have to move left and right for that. So we're going to have H plus or minus P, comma, K. And then your directrix is actually going to be a vertical line now. So it's going to be X equals whatever H was, and then add or subtract P, depending on which way you're going. So that's your little fill in there. I mean, you guys know I don't, at this point, if you've been watching, you know I don't really use those equations. I kind of do it visually off the graph or with a little sketch. Okay, so once you got that written down, let's skip on back to this page right here. Nope, just kidding. How about this page? Okay, so we've got 2 graphs to do and then a couple writing equations problems, and then we'll be done. So let's try this out, guys. Graphing, A, P, all those guys are the same. Biggest difference is, for example, we notice this is X, right? On a quiz or test, I'm not gonna say, hey, look out, this is horizontal. You're gonna have to notice it's X equals Y squared, so it's a horizontal. So its vertex is 4, and then change the sign 3. So remember, HK, and it's just flipped around. It opens, okay, well, A is -2, which means it opens to the left. And we still find out P from doing A equals 1 over 4P. So -8P, just cross multiply equals 1. So P is -1/8. And we should be used to seeing some fractions for that value. That isn't shocking to us. An axis of symmetry, okay, you could find it now or later, it doesn't matter, but it's going to be that horizontal line that goes directly through the y value. So it's y equals 3. Okay, and I'll say focus and directrix. Let's actually try graphing this to see what's going on, and I think it will be a little easier to see. Okay, people. First of all, it's 1A, 3A, 5A, with A being -2. So it's going to be -2, -6, -10 for that movement or pattern. So we're going to go to 4, 3. We've got our vertex. We're going to go down, or left 2, up 1, or left 2, down 1, and then go 6. Okay. And there's our axis of symmetry at y equals 3. So I'll let you guys sketch that out. When you're ready to go, we've got 2 of our 4 elements. Remember, the other 2 elements we still have to draw in are focus and directrix. We've got P is -1/8, so we're going to zoom in here, and focus is on the inside 1/8, directrix is on the outside 1/8. So let's figure out what these values are, because we've got some fractions. Instead of going all the way to 4, we went to 4 minus 1/8, which is going to be 3 7/8, comma 3. So again, only the x value changes. Y value of the vertex stays the same. So this is for our focus. we get this value by just doing 4 minus an eighth. So go to 4, take away an eighth, and same thing, 4 plus an eighth to get to the directrix. Directrix is now a vertical line, x equals 4. I went all the way up to 4 and then plus an eighth, so 4 and an eighth. So focus was 3 and 7/8, comma 3, and then we've got a directrix of x equals 4 and an eighth. So there you go. There's your first horizontal parabola. You might remember these from we talked about if something was a function or not, and x equals y squared was a common example of not a function. But it is a conic. All right, in example 2, let's take a look. Okay, example 2, we're gonna find the vertex. Well, first of all, we notice it's horizontal. So you might wanna start just as you go, write down vertical or horizontal to get your mind straight and ready to go. Obviously this page of notes is only horizontal for our 2 graphs. -2, +1. Your A value here is 1, so it's gonna open to the right. And I've got A equals 1 over 4P. So 1 equals 4P, so P equals 1/4. And my axis of symmetry goes straight through that Y value, Y equals 1. (1A3A5A) here with A equal to 1, good old 1, 3, 5. So I'm at -2, 1. I'm gonna go up 1 over 1, then up 3. There we go. Drawing in my axis of symmetry, dashed line with arrows on the end. And last but not least, we want to draw on that focus and directrix. We know that P is +1/4, so we're going to go 1/4 inside, 1/4 outside. Okay, 1/4 inside. Be careful because you're in the negative values. So instead of going all the way to -2, I went to -2 but plus 1/4. -2 plus 1/4. Okay, we're at -1 3/4, comma 1 for that focus. And for our directrix, we're a vertical line at x equals -2, and we're going to go 1 more fourth, so -2 1/4. And again, how I'm getting those values is doing h plus or minus p. I just wanted to show you that, h plus p, h minus p. But I kind of think it's visually easier to see what's going on just off the graph, but you're welcome to do either version. Oops, okay, so instead of going all the way to -2, I only went to -1 3/4, so I added a fourth to -2, and I stayed at +1, and then my directrix was -2 1/4. All right, guys, to finish up, example 3, we're gonna look at a couple problems where I give you the vertex and focus, or focus directrix, whatever it may be, and we try to figure out what the equation is. So I'm gonna warn you, I'm not necessarily doing vertical or horizontal. Okay, so vertical, y equals a times x minus h squared plus k, and then for vertical, x equals a times y minus k squared plus h. So keep both of those in mind. Honestly, the giveaway is usually if you sketch it, you can tell pretty quickly which one it's gonna be. So let's try it out and finish this up, guys. So take a look here. This first one, the vertex is 2, 6. This doesn't have to be perfect. I'm just doing a little sketch here. Okay, vertex is 2, 6. Focus is 2, 7. Well, if we know the focus has to be inside of the parabola and I went up from the vertex, that means my parabola is going to have to look something like this. So we know it's vertical. We know A is positive. What else do I know? I know the vertex is 2, 6. So I could even write this, y equals a times x minus 2 squared plus 6. And then to find that a value, we've been doing this a couple times. with the verticals. And remember, you're just looking for that p-value. How far apart are the vertex and the focus? And they are 1 unit apart. I went from 6 to 7. So p equals 1. So a equals 1 over 4p. So a is a fourth. So final answer, 1/4 times x minus 2 squared plus 6. And that should make sense that a is positive because it is facing up. All right, guys, and last one for this page. Let's take a look at this one. It says a focus at -1,4. And again, feel free to pause if I'm going too fast. Just trying to be efficient. And the beauty of video is you can pause. So -1,4. And then that's the focus. I'll put a little F there for focus. And then at +3, I've got my directrix. Interesting. Okay, the fact that it's a vertical directrix should be giving something away, which is that it's going to be horizontal. And the reason for that is the vertex has to be exactly in between these two pieces. So the vertex is going to be right here, and that's at +1. I was at -1, 0, 1, 2, 3. So 1 is going to be that center of -1 and 3. You could even find the midpoint if you really wanted. -1 plus 3 over 2 is equal to 1. It's basically finding the midpoint, but you could probably do it visually as well. That's your vertex. I have to open to the left because I want to have that focus inside. So I know a few things right now. Number 1, I know it's horizontal. Number 2, I know it opens to the left, so A must be negative. I actually now know what the vertex is because I kind of visually did it, but plus what's in the middle of -1 and +3. If you kind of count out to the middle, you'd get +1. So I'm going to be at 1, and then 4 just remains the same. I'm going to stay in line with the focus. And last but not least, what is that p-value? Well, how far apart am I here? From 1 to 3, I'm 2 away. And then from -1 to 1, I'm 2 away. So p is 2. A equals 1 over 4p. So A is 1/8. And I lied kind of because, and you can catch it at the end, I didn't really lie, but A has to be negative, right? So P is technically -2. You don't really need to write down the p-value on a question. It's just a little helpful tool. Your final answer is going to have A in it. So it really just matters by the end of the problem. You're like, oh, it opens to the left. A is negative. I wrote myself a note. So I'm going to make sure my final answer has a negative A value. A and P always have the same signs. So let's try writing this, guys. X equals -1/8, y minus 4, right, k squared plus h, which is 1. And that is your final answer here. All right, guys, thanks so much for watching. Please email me if you have any questions.